Fortnite has been taking the world by storm in the past few months, and with so many millions of players getting involved, there's been some certain breeds, some peculiar types of Fortnite players well established already, and we're going to take a look at 10 of them in this video, so strap yourselves in, because we're kicking things off with the wildest of them all. The Bush Camper. An absolute classic in Fortnite short history already. The game plan of the Bush Camper is to drop in a pretty desolate part of the map, grab whatever loot they can, good or bad, and find the nearest bush to call their home. The absolute last thing this player wants is any sort of confrontation, so they're quite happy to watch people from a distance go about their game and not engage them. In fact, just about the riskiest thing this player ever does is move from one bush to another that's inside of the circle. What a thrill that is, especially when they're spotted entering their plant domain and get sniped upon. Think that looks fun in the distance? Not to the Bush Camper, far too many buttons to be pressed, a lot of effort and probably a waste of time. Once again, another bush has to be found, but on their travels this time, they have no choice but to actually shoot their weapon for once and get a kill. One more kill than they usually get. Oh wow, top 4 with good loot. I've just got to find out. Shit! They can't handle a surprise attack and panic as they remember they don't know how to build and die with a whimper. Still, all that matters to this player was reaching the end game. Also shout out to the players who equip the bush every single time they're lucky enough to find one. The player who cannot build to save their life, literally. Also, oftentimes this player just outright refuses to build or even learn how to build. The only building this player reluctantly does is when they have to reach a chest, and even then they're loath to do so. When it comes to combat, they most likely think that building is for pussies and that using the natural terrain of the map for cover is much more tactical, and any kills they get without building is justification for their playstyle. They might occasionally attempt to build, but it's tiresome and frustrating. People even have the chance to shoot arrows at them as they try to scale a mountain. They're that slow. They don't mind using other people's structures though, they're fine with that, but only if they put in some more building practice themselves. They might actually win more games. We all know a player who just can't help but launch themselves out of the bus straight away and race towards the first town they see like an absolute missile. They're just itching to press that jump button and get into some action as quick as possible. I mean, sure, it often goes wrong and they die within a minute of landing, but when their aggressiveness pays off, they can believe in a town the last man standing with a good haul of loot too. If it's not the first town they're jumping into, then you'll most likely find this player dropping into tilted towers for some instant combat. There's never a shortage of that there. The complete opposite of player number 2, the Architect, the player who not only loves to build, but is amazing at it. Obviously no better example of this player than the Myth, link in the description, but even if you or the one person in your squad that lives for building isn't as good as the Myth, there's still a level of constructing that's a level or 2 above most Fortnite players. Watching them build must be like watching Michelangelo at work. They craft masterpieces within split seconds, full towers erected within the blink of an eye. Their opponents can't get enough shots on them to eliminate them because of the sheer amount of material they need to get through to hit them. I think this is the type of player most dedicated Fortnite players aspire to be, the one that can build themselves to victory. The resources hoarder who spends pretty much the entire game chopping down trees. Forget grabbing a weapon or a shield as soon as you land. Nah, start collecting wood as soon as your feet touch the ground, says this player. The levels of deforestation caused by this player would make what's happening to the Amazon rainforest look pretty tame. After they're finished with whaling woods, it'll just be called whaling. There's other players in the game dying from a lack of oxygen because of this, but once 999 wood is in the bag, then they maybe consider picking up a weapon before turning their attention to rocks. When left to their own devices and with a bit of luck, this player can cruise unchallenged into the endgame, where if they have to shockingly use some resources to help them get a kill, they can do that with plenty to spare. Even as the storm comes in and there's no more space in the bag, this player still wants to see buildings tumbling down. And I just want to say quickly, as we're at the halfway mark, if you're enjoying this video so far, then why not subscribe and join the notification squad? To do so, just click the little bell icon when you subscribe to the channel. These next two players are going to ruffle some feathers. We'll start with the one player, the one friend, maybe, who always gets split from their squad when dropping in. Everybody agrees they're going to Pleasant and they've somehow ended up at a bridge. It's just funny how it's consistently the same person in the group that always ends up so far away from everyone else. Do they just not pay attention? Do they not like their teammates? Either way, it won't be long before the squad starts getting picked off because they're a man short, and or the Wanderer gets eliminated for being an idiot. This one's really going to cause some friction in the squad. The player who's always getting carried and needs revived. They're lucky if they've got 1 kill whilst everyone else has 4 or 5. They're always too aggressive, starting fights the squad isn't ready for. They don't get any revives themselves. Basically, this player better be a good laugh, otherwise there's no point in having them around. I bet some of you are now thinking, yeah, I know exactly who that is. And some others are thinking, oh god, that's me. Better buck up your ideas before you get dropped. Number 8, the player with all the different characters, gliders, dance moves, etc. You'll see them in the pre-game lobby showing off all their cool gear that they've bought, which is everything. They're single-handedly funding this free-to-play game, although I have to say, anytime I'm dropping in and I see one of the more rare character outfits or gliders, I think, oh, they've sunk some money into this game, they must be pretty good, and I get out of there. There's players out there that just have a knack for sniping, total marksmen who rarely miss a shot, which is most definitely not me in case you were wondering what that footage was all about. Yeah, this is more like it. I have to spectate my own killer if I want to witness some top sniping. Even the snipes that you don't see though, the distances of snipes shown on the kill feed boggle my mind sometimes. How are these players so good at that? I struggle to hit someone's fort from that distance, never mind the player. And lastly, the unlucky player with chests. I've saved this for last because I'm sure everyone thinks they're this player. It doesn't matter how many chests you open, you never seem to get that scar, huh? No chug jug in sight, and even if you do get some decent stuff, you start thinking like, yeah, but I didn't get a legendary rocket launcher, did I? Ungrateful bastard. Maybe I should change it to the player who thinks they're unlucky with chests. That'd probably be more accurate, as we all know someone who constantly complains at their loot returns. I hope you enjoyed this video, folks. If you did, please do leave a like on it and let me know which type of Fortnite player you are in the comments. I have to say, I am a little bit of a bush camper, guilty as charged, and I do also like a good moan at what I get out of chests. I'm never pleased. So yeah, let me know which type of player you are, that would be very much appreciated, as well as let me know what other type of Fortnite related videos you'd like to see from me, if any. Have a nice day and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.